What's up, y'all? It's DJ Brian, and you're listening to The Drive-In on TBS efm 101.3. It's now Wednesday, February 13th, which means that Valentine's Day is tomorrow. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So, ladies, I really hope that you have in mind what you're going to do for your man tomorrow. If you don't, you better ask your friends or do some research or something. And that goes same for the guys who aren't in Korea right now, who aren't in relationships in Korea with the ladies, whatever you call it. Get your stuff done now because you want to get your gifts, your chocolates, your flowers, all that good stuff for your lovers tomorrow because it's Valentine's Day. And I'm going to be your personal alarm. It's going to be like, ding dong ding, I can't even say it. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. There you go. I'm not a personal alarm. Yeah. That'd be a weird personal alarm to hear me just stutter in the middle of an alarm system. Anyways, Valentine's Day actually brings up our first song for the day. And today's first song was requested by 6577 and is from the Step Up 4 soundtrack. And this is Nicki Minaj with Pound the Alarm. Check it out, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. I'm your host, Brian Ju, and you're listening to The Drive-In. We're on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and the surrounding areas, and GFN 98.7 in Gwangju and 93.7 in Yeosu. And I always like to hear from our listeners, so here are a few ways to get in contact with us. You can call the studio at 02-778-1013, or send us a text at #1013 for a charge of 51 to your smartphones, or send us an email at efmdrivin@gmail.com, or simply just give us a tweet at efmdrivin. You can also leave us a message on our webpage. Just go to tbsefm.soul.kr, scroll down the program list, and you'll see The Drive-In, and it's that easy. But make sure all your requests are from a movie or a TV show, because that's what The Drive-In is all about. Right now, we have some Twitter comments that are coming in like crazy. We're blowing up here in the studio. Let's see. Ayuko. Okay, I can't read that. It's Japanese. I'm just being honest. We have one for Brian Ju Singapore. She said, "Good morning. Brian Ju Music, missed you so much. Do you have great Lunar New Year?" Yes, she said it that way. Actually, it was a great Lunar New Year. I had some great friends. We spent some good time together, got to work out a little bit. So it was a great weekend. Yes, it was. And I hope you have a great Lunar New Year yourself, Serena. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Christina Lee wrote, "Morning and shout out from Malaysia. Please play How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees from Saturday Night Fever." We'll keep that in mind. And if we have time today or even any time during the week, we'll play your requests here. We have one from May Ann. She wrote, "That would tell a lot of if your alarm clock be morning." Yes. Like I say all the time, your tweets confuse me sometimes. Nice opening song to everyone. Happy V-Day in advance. Well, thank you, man. That part of the tweet is easy to understand. But I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day as well. But right now, it's time for the scene of the day. All right, it's now day 3 of Romantic Comedy Week because Valentine's Day is this week, tomorrow. And we've got a really special movie for you guys today. All right, fellas. Did you ever wish you could know exactly what women are thinking all the time? And that's what the movie that I'm going to talk about today is about. And it's called What Women Want. It was released in 2000 and stars Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt. Now, Mel Gibson plays a character named Nick Marshall, a manager in an advertising agency, and he has this reputation for being a chauvinistic jerk. He always asks the female employees to go get him coffee for him, and sometimes does inappropriate behavior at work as well. But then something happens to him one day. He's struck by lightning, and suddenly he has a power to hear the thoughts of every woman around him. And this is great at first, because he can get ahead in dating, and he can also get ahead at the workplace because his boss is a woman, Darcy. But then things at work become a little strange between him and Darcy. Things go a little, awkward. And, they get to work closely together. So let's hear and find out what happens in this scene. Dang. Helen Hunt, you a dirty girl. Checking out his body and everything in the workplace. Anyways, see, we men, we get armed knowledge with this advantage, being able to know what women are thinking. So it's kind of unfair if you think about it. Because in this clip, you don't really hear it, but there's a scene where this power, this gift actually becomes a curse because he can hear people being outwardly polite, but then thinking very rude thoughts about him. So it kind of hurts his feelings later on in the movie. And this also includes his daughter. Yes, his daughter herself is doing the same thing. And eventually he learns there's not it's not being respectful to women, and he changes a lot of ways of thinking, the way he acts over the course of time in the film. And I don't want to give the whole plot away because then it'll ruin the film for you guys. I know you guys want to watch this for Valentine's Day. But there's a great song that I want to dedicate to 3 of our listeners right now. Brandon Rogers, Chris Waldeck, and Cody Hunter, who's listening in from their car. So here's Mac Knife by Bobby Darin from the What Women Want original soundtrack. Once again, that was from the What Women Want original soundtrack. That was Bobby Darin with Mac the Knife. Now, coming up on today's show, it's Wednesday here in the drive-in, and that means Eugene will be here for Behind the Screen, where he's going to give us the latest news on movie news. And following that, we have, of course, my corner, because it's Wednesday, Musical Wednesdays. So you guys have to stay tuned for that. It's going to be right after intermission. But right now, we're going to go into another song request. And the next song is a request from Kiyomi, and it's for a song from another great romantic comedy starring Cameron Diaz and Ben Stiller that was released in 1998. And the film was called Something About Mary. Funny film. And Mary, played by Cameron Diaz, was the high school crush of Ted, played by Ben Stiller. Now, many years after high school, we find that she's still single and that he still has feelings for Mary. So he hires a detective to track her down, hoping that he can reconnect with her. Well, he does, but then it turns out the detective also has fallen for her. And then Brett Favre, her old boyfriend, also shows up in this picture as well. So now, will she go for Ted now that there are 2 other guys sweating her big time? Well, if you want to find out, watch the movie. And it's perfect if you watch it tomorrow with your loved one because it is Valentine's Day. So here's a song from the movie requested by Kiyomi, and this is Build Me Up Buttercup by The Foundations. Once again, that was The Foundations with Build Me Up Buttercup from the Something About Mary soundtrack requested by Kiyomi. Now we have some Twitter comments right now on blast. We have from Kim Ji-min. Basically, she has a song request. She said, Watch Me Shine, Joanna City, Legally Blonde original soundtrack. We'll keep that in mind. All Nero, please play I'll Be There For You by Led Apple from this 7급 공무원. And I'd like you to know I'll be there for you always, Brian. Thank you very much. And I'll be always, hopefully always here at TBS for you guys as well. Always, I'm thinking. Xavier, Earth Trek wrote, Crazy Over Johnny Depp, Crybaby, Edward Scissorhands, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Pirates of the Caribbean, but I reject Secret Window. Okay, well, we know that you love Johnny Depp films. We'll keep that in mind. But right now, we have another song request. And the next song request is for the 1950 film T for Two, and it was requested by the listener 3663. Now, this movie is about a rich lady who wants to break into acting, and she offers $25,000 to get started. Now, since this was back in the 1920s, today would probably be about $300,000. That's a lot of money. Yes, it's a great movie. If you want to go see it, we're going to play the song for you right now. This is T for Two from the T for Two original soundtrack. This is sung by Doris Day. And we're going to take a listen. I'll be right back with Eugene after intermission. Welcome back to the drive-in, and now it's time for Behind the Screen with Eugene.
What's up, Brian?
I'm waiting for a rhyme.
Have a good time with Brian. Oh my gosh, that was bad. I'm sorry.
Have a good time with Brian. So made my word name 1 syllable.
Okay.
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian.
And I added an M on it, so you're Brian. Hi, Brian.
Eugene.
Yes.
Eugene.
Yes, that's
yes.
good. So how was your holiday? Because I haven't really we didn't get a chance to talk to it earlier, so
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I got a good rest period, I guess.
But you were here on Monday, so
I was here Monday and yesterday and every day. But, yeah, I mean, it was good to just relax with friends and stuff like that, work out, eat some good food, get fat for the weekend. But now I have to get back on track with eating right again and working out again. Yeah. But, and then the funny thing is Monday.
Yeah.
I didn't know technically that's considered like more of a holiday day.
Right.
Still, even though it wasn't actual 설날.
Right. Of course.
So I assumed my cleaning Ajuma would be coming over.
But
so I got lazy and left the house a mess, and I come back Monday afternoon and my house is still a mess. So I spent all my days Monday night and Tuesday night just cleaning the house.
That's cool. I mean, the working people need a break too.
Of course.
Time and time again.
We're working people too.
Of course. But one thing I really don't like about this holiday is this is the day that your Korean age actually goes up, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm like 57 in Korea. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're 57, that means our producer's like 105.
No. Uh-oh. She's giving us the evil eye. So
Yes.
we better go into the news. So let's start with the first piece of news. This is Quentin Tarantino, who is promising to finish his revisionist history trilogy.
Okay.
Okay, now do you know what the revisionist history trilogy would be then?
I'm assuming it's a few of his films altogether.
Yeah, but revisionist history, which movies had that? You remember Inglourious Bees had that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they're saying that Django Unchained also had that in there. Like, it was revisionist history. But there
Okay.
wasn't, like, this really huge, I don't know, like, super significant history going on. It was just more of a personal thing. Like, I think it's just a fiction. I don't know if that's necessarily revisionist history. Right?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Okay.
Maybe. I haven't seen the film.
But he did say that he wanted to do another movie about, this would be called Killer Crow, which would be set during World War II, like Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
But it would contain an entirely black cast because there would be a platoon of just black soldiers in Switzerland.
All right.
So, it's kind of mixing the two movies together. And I guess that's where he's ultimately trying to go with things. He wants to have a platoon of all these black soldiers during World War II, and so they can change history differently. And this was originally supposed to be a subplot of Inglourious Bees, but they never actually got around to that.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
would you like to watch the revisionist history trilogy? I'm not sure it would really be a trilogy, actually.
I'd be interested, but not for the fact that it's a trilogy, just to see what Quentin Tarantino came up with.
That's true. Yeah. If there was any trilogy that I would want to watch, it would be a third Kill Bill movie, to tell you the truth. But
I think you're going to go into Star Wars or Star Trek or something.
no. I mean,
Sci-fi dude.
Regarding Quentin Tarantino.
All right.
Of course, if Quentin Tarantino were to do Star Wars, that might be a different story. But we're not talking
It'd be
about that.
weird.
Yeah, it would be. It'd probably
random heads cutting off and
jumping all around all the time. And
exactly. Stories all getting confused and
you're like, you can call me. I'm Darth Pink. Yeah, I'm Darth White. The Reservoir Dogs reference there. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. All right, so let's go into the next story. This is Elizabeth Olsen confirming that she will star in a Godzilla reboot. Godzilla reboot. You know how many movies, Godzilla movies there have been so far?
5?
Actually, it's a lot more than that. There have been 28.
Really?
28
Godzilla films. Are you crazy?
First one was in 1954. Right?
Wow, that's a long time ago.
It is a long time
That's
ago.
when my mom was born.
And usually when they make another Godzilla film, I mean, the first few ones, it was like, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. But then, I think in the 80s sometime, they decided that, okay, we're going to make a new Godzilla movie, but this is just the sequel to the very, very first one. So you can forget all about all those other ones, right?
Why do they do that?
It's because, the monster stories were just kind of ridiculous. You got Godzilla fighting the mechanical Godzilla
I'm
who's
thinking
fighting
if
the
it's
giant moth.
If it's going to be ridiculous and the
Yeah.
story's going to not be great, then just don't come up with it.
Well, I mean, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get rid of all those silly, ridiculous ones, and they make a new one and say, this is a sequel only to the first one. But then later they make another one, and they say, well, this one is also a sequel only to the first one, right? So, I mean, this one, they're saying it's going to be just a reboot. It's going to be more like the original 1954 film. And, Elizabeth Olsen, she said she's very, very happy to be a part of it. And
I just hope her sisters aren't up in this film.
Oh, yeah, Mary-Kate and Ashley. Well,
That'd be weird. Because I'd be like,
kinda weird.
Uncle Jesse?
Yeah.
But
one interesting thing about this story that I found is right when they were finished talking to her, she had actually just finished filming the Western version of Old Boy, which is directed by Spike Lee.
Oh, they're actually making a Western version of it?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's going to be pretty interesting. I
who plays the guy character? Who plays the guy character?
I just found out 10 minutes ago, but I forgot to tell you the truth. So we could look it up a little bit later.
I could see Daniel Craig doing it.
No, it's not Daniel Craig, but it's somebody who looks very similar to Pierce Brosnan, but I can't remember his name at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
But definitely that's going to be an interesting thing. I think that in this case they should not have really even remade it. I mean, I like Spike Lee as a director and I like the story and everything, but I think the original just stands alone. You wouldn't necessarily need to make a Western version, right?
Just pop in some subtitles and that's it.
Exactly. Okay, let's go into the third piece of news. This is a little bit of gossip here from the world of Korean celebrities. Kim Ji-woo is actually getting engaged.
Ooh.
So, do you know who Kim Ji-woo is? Of course, she was in My Tutor Friend, Marrying the Mafia 4, Family Ordeal, Nonstop 5, Bad Woman, Good Woman, and, several more. She is set to marry superstar chef Raymond Kim. So,
Sad thing is, this isn't news to me. I already knew all this.
Oh, you knew all of that? Because you're friends with all of them?
I got the personal phone call.
Ah, right.
Actually, this is going to be shocking. If her mom's listening, she's going to be upset. But I was the first person that they called me. And she called me one night. And she goes, Oppa, I have news for you. I was like, what? I'm engaged. And I'm like, all right, you can't tell the media. You can't tell nobody because you're the first person who knows. Now that it's,
it's
known
out
to everybody,
right.
I know about it, which she actually called me because she wanted me to sing at her wedding.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I'll be here in Korea to be able to sing at her wedding. If I don't know when the CrossFit regionals are, but hopefully they won't interact or bump into each other.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to work out, I'll definitely be at her wedding. I'll sing, and I just want to congratulate you here on air. 치우야 축하하고, and I hope you guys are stay happy forever.
That's really really good. So I was talking to my wife about this thing actually, and
she's singing at your wedding. You're already married.
No. I mean that Kim Ji-woo is getting married to Raymond Kim. She's like, I know why she's marrying him. It's because she can cook, and she's going to be able to eat delicious food every day.
Well, she's a great cook herself.
Oh, really?
She's come to my house a few times for like house parties, and she's made delicious. I guess I call it her own recipes.
Mm-hmm.
It pretty much is. It's not stuff you can find on the internet, and she's great at making like cakes.
Wow.
Like her icing decor, it's amazing.
Well, this is really interesting. One of the news stories that I picked, you got a personal take on it. That's pretty cool. We have to do something like that more often.
It's just funny to me that it's like breaking news, and I knew about this a month ago by myself, and I kept it a secret.
It was breaking news on one of the K-pop blogs. So, you know what I'm saying? The producer just brought up something for us. The character that will play the old boy is
Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Do you know where he, not first, but one of the old films he came out in?
Which one?
Goonies.
Oh, yeah.
The older brother.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right. Wow. I didn't even recognize him there.
Yep.
Yeah.
He old man now.
Well, aren't we all?
No, but he's old.
Yeah, I wonder, they should do a Goonies reunion. That would be really good.
That'd be awesome.
You could get all those people in there, like the guy who played Data, who was also Short Round in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, whatever happened to that dude?
Actually, this is pretty interesting. When I lived in Japan, he actually was living there too. He was studying on how to make soy sauce for his parents' food import company, and he's a really nice guy actually. Like he's not an actor anymore.
He was my favorite character in that movie. $50 bill, $50 bill.
Yeah, he was funny. And all those guys were great. Goonies released.
The sad thing is, Sloth wouldn't be at the reunion because he passed away a few years ago.
Oh yeah, that's too bad. But I mean, they could bring up some other villains or something. And
speaking of villains, we got a song for you guys right now because you talked about Godzilla earlier.
Yes, this is the Godzilla theme, and I will see you on Friday, Brian.
Alrighty, see you on Friday. This is I can't pronounce the person's name, or is that? Is that supposed to be the Asian version of saying it?
In Japan they call it Godzilla.
Okay.
Because you can't say Godzilla in Japan, I guess.
All right, well then there it is. This is the Godzilla or Godzilla theme song, and I'll be back with Musical Wednesday. Musical Wednesday. Today's musical is a film that was really popular a few years ago when it was released in 2007. It was called Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And it stars Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Of course, those duo couple actors always have films together. And it's really hard to explain the plot logically because this is one of those plots that really gives you a look at the inner mind of Tim Burton, who directed this film. And the film was, of course, based on the musical made in 1979. And in the story, Benjamin Bark, a barber played by Johnny Depp, returns to London after a long time. He'd been falsely accused and convicted of a crime and sent out of the country. Since he's still a criminal by reputation, he changes his name to Sweeney Todd, and he wants to try to reunite with his wife and daughter, who would be a teenager by now. And so he enlists the help of Mrs. Lovett, a friend of his who runs a meat pie shop. Now, let's listen to a song where the two meet after such a long time. Here's The Worst Pies in London. That was The Worst Pies in London, actually sung by Mrs. Lovett's character in the film. So now in this scene, we learn that Benjamin Barker learns from Mrs. Lovett that his wife poisoned herself after he was sent away. And that causes Benjamin to snap. He goes all crazy. And he opens up his barbershop above the meat pie shop. And he'll get his revenge on society by murdering his customers and then giving the bodies to Mrs. Lovett so that she'll have fresh supply of meat to make her meat pies. And that way many people will die and then many other people will be eating people meat. Ugh. I know that's kind of weird, and that's why I think it's called The Worst Pies in London. That's what I'm assuming. Now, the reason why he's doing all this murdering and killing is because eventually he wants to get the person who accused him to sit in the barbershop chair so, he can get revenge on this person. But I don't want to ruin this musical for you guys anymore. I just want to play a song for you guys. So this is where he almost gets his chance, and that's where this next song comes in. And here's Epiphany from the Sweeney Todd soundtrack. Once again, that was Epiphany from that crazy movie, of course, Sweeney Todd. Of course, in this scene, it sounds a little cray-cray. Mr. Johnny Depp going all cray-cray. So, I'm going to slow and chill because you know what? I'm sad. Because it's the end of the show. But stick around because 101.3 Main Street with An Jung-hyun is next. And if you're listening to GFN, stay tuned for Hello Korea. And the final song of the hour is actually a song request earlier today on Twitter. And this is Christina's request from the 1977 film Saturday Night Fever. And it's the Bee Gees with How Deep Is Your Love. So we're going to play that song for you guys shortly. But right now I'm going to read a few more Twitter comments before I go. We have May Ann. She said, Sweeney Todd, awesome. Johnny Depp have the most weird roles, but always wing it. Such an amazing actor. That is very true. Johnny Depp, you are an amazing actor. Also, we have from Rhea Butler. She says, I still have not been able to see this movie yet. Need to go on that. Exactly. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. If you love Tim Burton, if you love Johnny Depp, go watch this movie. But right now, I'm going to play you guys the last song of the hour. This is from Saturday Night Fever, requested by Christina. This is the Bee Gees with How Deep Is Your Love. This is Brian G signing off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Valentine's Day. Peace.